The Bad Batch Season 3 is in full swing now. We've had 4 episodes. The 4th one dropped today, 3 last week, and this is probably my favorite season so far. I don't know. I guess I'm on the darker side of things. But there are going to be spoilers, as the big red word said at the beginning. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, please back out. Come back later. This is my review of The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 4. Okay, well, really, it's a review of all the episodes so far, and I wanted to wait till we were at least 4 episodes in to have a good feel of what was really going on. But before I continue, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it with some friends or enemies or Star Wars lovers or Lord of the Rings lovers. I don't care. Just share it with people. See what they think, even if you don't like them. Yeah. Why? Because it's freaking Star Wars, baby, and I'm here for it all. So let's get going. So the first thing I want to talk about is how heavy this season feels. Not just the emotional gravity, but the scenery as well. There's no light source. We've been inside buildings that are dark. We've been inside dark bars. And when we're outside, there's no sun. It's nighttime. And there's just no light. If you remember back to season 2, the very first episode, there was light. There was happiness. There was joy. They were struggling to get this treasure they were retrieving for Sid, but they were also making jokes and trying at comedy and all that stuff. There hasn't been really any of that in the Bad Batch Season 3 so far. It's been dark, really dark and ominous. And there's a reason for that. The Empire has taken over, taken the light from the galaxy, which is the Jedi. From the past 2 seasons, we saw that there were more clone troopers about when we were out in the galaxy and stuff, and at different planets. There were more clones than TK. TK troopers were just here and there, very sparse. They were just becoming conscripted and starting in their path. Now we're seeing more TK troopers out and about in the galaxy than clones. Not really seeing many clones out and about, unless they're tagging along with that weird Dr. Hemlock guy. Now, with the clones not being as present in the rest of the galaxy as they are in certain bases, then that shows that the Republic is almost gone, that the Jedi are almost gone. So there is a darkness. And the music is also hitting on that note as well, hitting at the right moments to give you that emotional feel and that gravity that's going on in this situation. There's so much going on. And Tech missing also adds to that darkness. And the music just gives you that emotion, that feeling, and it's superb. I'm loving the music in this season. I liked the music in the last 2 seasons, but it was a lot more lighthearted until the end of season 2, then not as much. All right, let's move on and talk about your boy Crosshair. He's without armor. His armor is back on Tantus without him in it. It shows he's vulnerable, stripped down to display his true heart, what his true intentions are going to be moving forward. He regrets what he's done to his brothers, and now he's opened himself up to them to see who he really is and pay his penance. When Omega reunites the 3 brothers who are remaining, you can see that Wrecker and Hunter have this disdain for Crosshair. He crossed them. Crosshair, cross him. Huh. Yeah, never drew that connection before. Cross, double cross, all that. Anyways, so they have a little bit of disdain for him, and rightfully so, because he went against his brothers. They were a team more than they were aligned with the Republic or the Empire or anything like that. They saw each other as first. Now they have this bad taste in their mouth because Crosshair didn't feel that way as well. But if you look at Crosshair's face, he's hanging his head down. He's not looking angry. He doesn't look like he wants to engage with them in some kind of negativity, but he's ready to take the heat for what he's done. And like I said, without his armor, he's vulnerable to his brothers, and he's vulnerable to everything outside. Also vulnerable to Omega, who he's starting to get a liking for. Anyways, so yeah, he's opening himself up to them and showing them his true intentions now. Now let's move on to Nala Se. She tells Hemlock that a false positive reading is to be expected when they're doing these tests. Yeah, that's probably true, but I also think that she's doing this to kind of use her persuasion to get Dr. Hemlock to stop pursuing Omega. Like she's doing everything she can to get him off her trail. But he's not dissuaded at all. He's ready to go after her, and he needs that M count for his Emperor. And that's what the whole point of his job is. He found somebody that has a high M count. Hint, hint, I was right. That Omega is force sensitive. She just doesn't know how to use it and doesn't understand it, and has never really been around Jedi enough to understand what it really is. So, yeah, everybody can be mad at me for that, but I called that like 2 years ago. Anyways, not here to rub my own fur. Yeah, that's a weird saying. Anyways, let's move on. I said the music is superb. I love it. It's hitting all the key notes at the right time, making us feel the gravity of the story. But then let's look at the Imperial Captain in the bar who Omega plays sabacc against and wins all of his money. That Imperial Captain is a subtle reminder of what Cassian Andor said about Imperial officers being fat and arrogant. Yes, he figured out that Omega and Crosshair were the fugitives Hemlock was looking for eventually, but he was more interested in lining his own pockets than achieving the goal of the Empire, already showing the corruption within the Imperial ranks. If you notice, way back when and all the way through Star Wars history, that Imperial officers were more about their own promotions rather than the greater good of the Empire. And this is something that was done by design. This is kind of that guy that ran Germany during World War II, I don't want to say his name, but he did the same thing as the Emperor is doing, and that's pit your people against each other to vie for his favor in order to keep their attention off you. And it works. It keeps them fighting among themselves as to who's going to get promoted, who's going to get the better favor, and all that stuff, rather than, hey, let's take this guy out and take over. Hitler didn't have to worry about, I said his name. He didn't have to worry about that stuff too much because he had his people fighting, and that's exactly what the Emperor's doing in the Empire. Only that's going to bite him in the butt later because, there's so many times that Imperial officers overlook things like not shooting at a escape pod that had droids in it because there are no life forms aboard. Hold your fire, Imperial officers trying to save a couple dollars on laser blasts or blaster fire or whatever. Yeah, kind of ruined the whole Empire for them. Those two guys, it's their fault. Anyways, so let's move on to the TK troopers that we see on the planet with the bar. I forget the name of the planet. I need to put the subtitles on my next watch so I can get this a little bit better. But the stormtroopers really reminded me of the Mimban Mud Troopers from Solo, A Star Wars Story. Yeah, go back and watch it. I'm not showing it on here because I'm not getting any copyright strikes. So, go back and watch it. They look like the Mimban stormtroopers. And it's awesome because now we've called back to Cassian Andor and we've called back to Solo, A Star Wars Story. Connecting things. And that's what we do. In Star Wars, we connect everything. Even though it's a giant galaxy and everything doesn't need to be connected, we do it anyway because it's fun. Yeah. All right. Now, I've gave you all the positives I thought about the Bad Batch Season 3 so far. Let me give you a couple negatives on my opinion. And this is just my opinion. I don't expect everybody to share in my opinions on this. You have your own opinion. But the only thing I would have liked to have seen better is the episode length. Give us 45-minute episodes. And what's it going to hurt? We only get 16 episodes this season. And, many of the episodes are dedicated to reuniting the Bad Batch. That's 4 out of 16. That's 1/4 or 25% out of the 16 episodes that have been dedicated to the Bad Batch. Had we had longer episodes of, say, 45 minutes for at least the first 3 or 4, then that would have been a little shorter timeline and the rest of the episodes could be moved forward to see what happens with the Bad Batch. Now, I'm sure they're going to do a great job with it, and at least I hope they are. I have faith in them. They have pretty good storytelling so far, so I don't know. Maybe that's just a minor complaint. But I think 45-minute episodes for the last season of this animated series in Star Wars would have been a real treat. And not that I deserve a treat. It's not my story to write. It's theirs. But with that taking 4 episodes to reunite the Bad Batch or Clone Force 99 or the 3 remaining brothers and Omega the sister, it also adds to that emotional weight and the heaviness of the season. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with some friends, leave a comment, all that good stuff, the stuff you hear in every freaking YouTube video. Why do I want you to do this? It helps the channel out a lot, and it's freaking Star Wars, baby, so why not? All right. Anyways, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way. And positivity in Star Wars can be the only way.